Okay.
My name is Zabe. A couple of months ago, my husband called me and informed me that he got married and he has a second wife. And this is my story.
Hi, this is Aisha, and this is what has been happening in our lives for the past few months. This is my favorite.
This story began with Zeb's wedding day 26 years ago.
You were so little.
I was 19. I was happy. Whatever was my destiny, I got it. This husband and these kids.
It looks so pretty.
Like you put so much money, effort, everything in it, and it's not even worth it, yeah.
Now, Aisha and Zeb, a Canadian mother and daughter, find themselves navigating an unfamiliar world of polygamy, a practice illegal in Canada.
Tell me about the day that you found out that your husband had taken a second wife.
So he said, I just want to tell you that I got married to some woman. And I was like, no, I thought he's kidding. I was just literally quiet, maybe in a shock mode or in some kind of, unbelievable or denial. He said, no, this is true. Don't worry about anything. I'm going to still provide for you, take care of you and the kids. You can continue living the way you're living. And it's just going to be one extended family, that we added an extension to the family.
Like, it's been 26 years of her life. Just kind of thrown away like that. So I was pretty pissed. I was pretty angry. Since day one, I have always been like, this is too much. We need to get ourselves out of this situation, for sure. Because I don't think there's any gray area here.
And most of this polygamy, the way it's practiced today, is unfair to women. So we want to make it clear that we don't encourage polygamy.
Imam Hamid Silmi says he knows polygamy is happening in Canada and doesn't like it.
The context is very important. It was permitted for a certain time, within a certain context in the past, hundreds of years ago, but it's not acceptable. Context is very critical here.
In Canada, it's not allowed.
In Islam, a woman can only be married to one man, but men are allowed up to 4 wives.
So if people want to do that, they can go and live in countries where it's permissible. But here in Canada, it's not allowed. And in 99%, probably 99.5% of women don't accept this. I'm talking about Muslim women.
Aisha has been recording her mom's journey on her iPhone, a video diary of sorts.
How are you feeling, Mom?
I'm not good. I'm just feeling not good. I have to see my doctor maybe by next week. I have another assessment coming up if I can go back to work or not. So let's see.
What kind of assessment? What do they tell you?
The psychological assessment she did before.
Okay.
Yeah, that my mental health is not good. I cannot go back to work. So.
When Zeb reached out to other women for help, she realized she's not alone.
I thought this doesn't happen in Canada. It's illegal. But to my surprise, when I went into the situation, I have a friend found out she's getting a divorce because her husband have a second wife. And a friend of my friend also got a divorce very recently because her husband also got a second wife. So I was like, this is not just me. There is so many women going through this.
In our reporting, we spoke to dozens of Canadian Muslim women with similar stories. Husbands with a secret second marriage. But who are the men doing this, especially when it's punishable in Canada with up to a 5-year sentence?
I see nothing wrong with it. It's part of our religion. I'm open to it and I accept it,
Meet Isa, a Toronto restaurant owner who says even though he's happily married, he wants a second wife.
What does your wife think of this?
Most of the times, women don't like it, but she accepts it.
But it's not legal in Canada, polygamy.
Correct.
How do you reconcile that?
Our marriage is through the Islamic institution, so we got what is called a nikah done. So she is...
So a religious marriage.
Right, so she's basically my wife. But we haven't registered our marriage in the...
Civil court.
Yes, correct.
Why did you choose not to at that time?
I may get married sometime again later on down the line because it is part of my religion. So therefore, I left it open.
Is any part of you ambivalent about that?
No.
So how easy is it to find someone in Canada open to the idea of being a second wife?
We found a Muslim matrimonial website with about 5,000 members online. This website actually allows people who have an interest in polygamy to participate.
Our producer goes online. Turns out there are all kinds of websites for that, including secondwife.com and muslima.com.
Okay, so here is this woman. She's divorced, has 2 kids, looking for a husband. She says that she could accept polygamy. She's open to the idea.
Through the site, we contact Halima.
I have had Muslim brothers ask me in the past, would you like to be a second wife? So if I was in a polygamous marriage and the first wife was accepting of this, I would welcome her and help her in any way I can, because I've been through raising a family and children. I would just love to help her.
You know, in Canada, polygamy is not permitted by law. It's not allowed.
Yes.
Does that concern you?
Yes, it does concern me. I know it's not allowed legally, but I do know that in some certain situations, I think some imams are willing to help the brother.
The cases that I'm seeing are where people are making an assumption, an incorrect assumption that it's part of their religious right to engage in polygamy.
Sabah Hazai is a lawyer who often finds herself advising Canadian Muslim women on the issue of family law and marriage.
Unfortunately, what happens is in some of the cases that we're seeing, it's not, the women are not aware. Some of them are not aware that their husbands have taken on second marriages, right? And that's devastating.
Yeah.
That's devastating.
Months later, Zeb is still picking up the pieces.
Well, I went to the community center and I met the counselor. And when she was asking me what's your plan and stuff, so I told her that I'm planning, part of this is first like my self-healing, the counseling, the management of anxiety and depression.
When we come back, Zeb settles on a plan. And we will take you inside the hidden world of polygamous marriage.
So, Sheikh, I've decided to take a second wife.
Okay.
Hello, okay. Feels like we're just in a cloud or something.
There have been many dark days in Zeb's life since learning that her husband had a second wife.
What are you thinking?
Nothing, I'm just in the moment, not thinking anything.
For Zeb, the decision to leave her husband of 26 years still isn't an easy one.
Do you agree with me that we should have a plan by January?
Yes, we should.
Do you agree?
I already have a plan in my head.
Okay, then we have to be on the same page.
Aisha has watched her mother's life fall apart. She says she wants to see the men in her community step up and do right by the woman.
There are men who are exploiting their rights and what they are able to do. So if you're living in Canada, but you are also living here as a Muslim or as a part of a certain cultural community, there's a lot of room to kind of pick and choose what you choose to follow. And I feel like the lack of regulation on certain things in the community makes it so that it's easier to exploit women, to abuse women, to keep women under control.
This is like wrong. This can't be happening.
What change would you like to see happen?
I would like to see those imams who do that under the table. They should be accountable.
So who are the imams putting their stamp of approval on polygamy? A man from the Muslim community agrees to go undercover for the Fifth Estate to find out. Several Muslim women fed up with polygamy point us in this direction, the mosque of Imam Ali Hindi.
So, Sheikh, I've decided to to have a marriage again, take a second wife.
Okay, all right. You have the wife?
I am married, yes.
No, but you found the second wife?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So what are sort of what do I need to do or
We have to have 2 witnesses.
okay. Can you provide the witnesses?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
You have to prepare some dowry. Some money.
Yes, okay. Yeah, we'll agree to
You have
that.
agree about it. Yeah.
Okay, good. So there'll be like a contract.
Oh, yeah.
You'll write that up for me?
Yeah, we have a contract. We have a contract like this,
Yeah, okay.
you know, and I give her the original or you.
Yeah. Okay,
And
that's perfect.
I have a copy with me.
Okay.
We have no problem with the government because this is nikah. This is stuff.
Right.
There's no problem. We're not going to register. If you register, then it's illegal.
Then it's the thing,
Because
yeah.
you're married.
Imam Hindi is by no means the only Canadian imam willing to perform a second marriage. However, most mainstream Canadian imams have spoken out against the practice, even issuing an official statement condemning polygamy.
As a leader in the community, does it upset you to hear that there are other imams who are allowing this or giving the impression that this is allowed?
What upsets me is if we want to be part of Canada and call ourselves Canadian Muslims, and we are Muslim, yeah, but we have to be part of this society. Polygamy was permissible, and it's permissible in other countries, but it's illegal here. The issue is not because I have choices. I don't have a choice.
In Canada, all marriages must be legally registered, but that doesn't stop Imam Ali Hindi from conducting unregistered second marriages. We pay him a visit to ask why.
Imam, I want to show you this video.
Okay.
So this is you.
Private matter.
Okay, sure.
So, Sheikh, I've decided to take a second wife.
Okay, all right. You have? What's the problem?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you say what's the problem?
Huh?
Imam, that's illegal.
So,
Yeah, okay.
sue me. Let them sue me, and then we're going to go to Supreme Court, and we'll see who's going to win.
Imam Hindi says since he isn't registering the second marriages, he isn't breaking the law.
Are you aware that the Justice Department says whether it's a nikah or a marriage done in a city hall, under the law, if a person is already married, that is illegal?
This happening thousands of years ago and continue to happen. These cases will happen all the time. You cannot prevent it.
He says it's just a matter of time until society realizes that polygamy is necessary.
We have a problem, and eventually, this society, they're gonna recognize that there is not enough men for each woman. There's not enough men for each woman. So many women will not be able to get married because not enough men. Why not? Because men die in war, children die early, more boys than girls. You also lost some number of men for homosexual marriage. So those people will not reproduce any children. So now.
So, Imam, you may not agree with the law, but that is the law of Canada.
But the law has to change. I'm telling you, because the law.
But the law doesn't change by people just choosing not to respect the law, right?
Okay, the law cannot be enforced.
When it comes to polygamy, both Imam Hindi and lawyer Sabah Hazai agree on one thing: the current law simply lacks teeth.
It's up to the lawmakers and it's up to the courts now. How do they want to address polygamy? Are they going to start looking at enforcing the law? Are there going to be criminal prosecutions? Are there going to be convictions? Can you call the police and say, my husband's in a second marriage, please charge him for it?
Can you right now?
I don't know how far it would go.
Yeah.
Right? And what can you do?
Zeb has approached Sabah to help her deal with the legal challenges ahead. She has made the decision to divorce her husband, and so begins a new chapter in her life, starting over.
Mom, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just trying to look for some courses and to upgrade my skills and education.
That's good. How do you feel?
Like, I'm excited to go back to school.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a new skill, new education, new chapter.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Excited to go back to school. Okay. Yeah, it's a new skill, new education, new chapter.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. There is no way to compromise because I'm going to be living the rest of my life with a burden, and I know myself. So I thought, best way, just let him go, live his life, and I'll figure out my own life.
I feel like I'm in the same place as you, kind of. It's so weird. Because I'm looking for somewhere to move out, and then I'm also transferring programs, going to college. I hope that this fuels me in the right direction.
Maybe I'll get some flowers.
It's given me a perspective on what I hope to avoid.
Do they have pink roses?
I'm working towards getting myself peace, even if I'm not feeling it right now.